Welcome to the Let's Eat Grandma Career Warrior Podcast.
All right, welcome to the 26th episode of the Let's Eat Grandma Career Warrior Podcast, where our goal is not only to help you land your dream job, but to live your best life. We have another episode of Just Ask Chris. Just a reminder for you guys, Just Ask Chris is a format on this podcast where we try to answer the most commonly asked questions in less than 10 minutes. Not try, do. Yeah, that's right. We're going to answer these top questions here on this podcast. Before I launch into the episode, I want to remind you of our 2019 sharing contest. Every month, we will give listeners the chance to win 2 in-depth resume consultations with me. I will personally get on the phone with you and help you to rewrite your resume and get targeted to your job search. This is a great opportunity, guys. If you really want to improve your resume, you want to get on the phone with me, all you need to do is to share one of these podcast episodes on Facebook. Make sure you follow and tag Let's Eat Grandma so we know it was you and we can give you credit. Make sure to tag the consulting service, which has a yellow logo with a pencil. Super cool opportunity, and like I said, we're going to be offering this for all of 2019. All right, let's get to it. Let's make your life even better with this 26th episode of the Let's Eat Grandma Career Warrior Podcast. So the question I'm going to be addressing today is, should I send my resume or submit my resume as a PDF or Word doc? All right, this is, gosh, I can't even explain. The most commonly asked question when it comes to applications, I can't even tell you. And I don't know why this really bogs people down a lot of the times, because they feel like they're putting a lot of time on their resume and they feel like it's not getting read. So I'll tell you first of all that one of the reasons why it's not getting read is not necessarily the format, it is the words within the resume. So specific keywords that are not being captured within your resume. However, these people are onto something. You know, there is a little bit of magic, a little bit of tweaking that you can do to optimize your resume to get it more likely that those keywords are going to be picked up. So in a survey, actually, once again, for my favorite book ever, Resume Magic, promise I'm not getting any money from them. I just like the book so much. But they actually conducted a survey where they spoke to a bunch of recruiters and asked what was the number one format that they wanted the resume to be submitted. And the answer may shock you. It is in the form of an Instagram post. All right, I'm totally joking, guys. And I'm hoping that just because it's 2019 that people aren't getting too crazy and creative in submitting their resumes, because an Instagram post would just be ridiculous. In the survey, the overwhelming majority of recruiters actually preferred it to be submitted as a Word document. And in second place came PDF. And a very, very small percentage of recruiters actually liked those other random files like rich text files and I don't know, God knows what. So this should really kind of point to that Word doc as kind of the king and PDF as second place. However, I do want to launch into the comparison between PDF and Word doc just because I do think that PDF has its place. In fact, there's a lot of good reasons to use PDF when you're submitting it as a resume. So let me kind of launch into that. First, let's talk about Word doc, why that might be beneficial for you as an applicant to submit it as a Word doc. My belief is that if you are submitting it as a Word doc, you are more likely to get your keywords read. And that is just the nature of the document, because if you send it as a PDF, you are less likely, because at the end of the day, a PDF is just a picture. And to try to expect all of these applicant tracking systems to scan your PDF and pick up on all the keywords it's not really realistic. Guys, have you ever tried to convert a PDF to a Word doc? What happens? Yeah, exactly. So it's not going to convert all of the text correctly. In fact, a lot of the text is going to be lost in that conversion. So it's my belief when these applicant tracking systems are scanning PDFs, it's not going to pick up on every single word. So at the end of the day, I do believe Word documents are best when submitting to applicant tracking systems. We also mentioned in the beginning that the survey indicated that recruiters prefer Word doc. I would like to do a little bit more research. That was probably like a 1,000-person survey. It's not going to be 100% accurate or representative of all recruiters, but I do think it's a pretty good indicator as to what recruiters might prefer. I do want to speak to the downsides of submitting a Microsoft Word document instead of a PDF. And the number one downside is just that consistency that you're going to miss out on when you submit a Word doc. Because there are a lot of different versions of Microsoft Word out there. There are new and updated versions. Maybe that beautiful formatting that you worked and spent hours and hours on is not going to translate over to somebody else's computer screen. So at the end of the day, if design is incredibly important to you, I do recommend submitting your resume in the form of a PDF. So if you're creative, submitting your creative resume for a creative position, then design is going to be of importance. If that's the case, I would recommend submitting it as a PDF. All right. The other thing about sending in a PDF, and this is actually when I would recommend sending it as a PDF, is if you have the email address of the recruiter, or if you know somebody's physically going to open up your resume, like say it's a reference, or say somebody asked you to email it in and you don't think that it's going to be parsed by these applicant tracking systems, then sure, PDF is great. It's not going to mess up formatting, and it is just really clean and easy to open and read. In that case, I would submit it as a PDF. So in conclusion, just gonna make it really simple, dumb it down a lot. Submit your resume in the form of a Word doc if you are submitting it to applicant tracking systems or ATS. Submit it in the form of a PDF. If format is of utmost concern for you, then you might want to submit in the form of a PDF. However, make sure that you are emailing it to a specific recruiter, hiring manager, whoever that you know is actually going to open up your resume. Couple other quick tips. Make sure you don't submit it in the form of a rich text file or a .pages file. All these other formats that are just not really common or people are not going to have. Just remember that the industry standard is a Word doc, and don't make people's lives more difficult, especially if they have a million other applications to read. And the second tip, and this was a question I just got right now, and I'm glad I was reminded of it. Make sure to also print out your resume just in case. Now, I'm not saying that people are going to print out your resume. And in fact, 90% of the cases, it's just going to be read online. However, you never know with people printing it out online, or you never know if you need to show up to a career fair tomorrow or whatever. It is important to make sure that you test this out by printing out your resume, checking those margins, and making sure that it's not too shrunk or it doesn't look ridiculous. All right, this concludes our third Just Ask Chris. Can't believe there's 3 already, and our 26th episode of the Career Warrior podcast. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a direct message. You can send me a message through projects@letseatgrandma.com. That's projects @letseatgrandma.com. That's the name of the company. You can also send a message through our Facebook platform. So going on Facebook, finding Let's Eat Grandma with a yellow pencil logo, and sending us a direct message through that platform. All right, guys. Hope you learned. Hope you were educated. And I'll see you guys next time.
And for more on your job search, make sure to check out letseatgrandma.com. That's where you can find our blog, where we post the podcast show notes and so many more articles that will help you in your job search. You can also check out our resume services if you are interested in getting your resume professionally reworked. And please make sure to show us some love by jumping onto iTunes and leaving us a rating. The support from my fellow warriors will show the world how great this podcast is and help other people in their job search. Pay it forward. Thanks, guys, for being true warriors, and thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next week.